It's nothing, that's a saving. In a house on fire, could you stay a while?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another potentially great episode of Three Different Dads. I am Lorenzo. With me, as always, is Jim and Kyler. Guys, how's it going?
It's going. How are you?
What's up?
I'm doing well. Before we start, I got to hit the mailbag. We got some texts.
We got mail?
We got email. Yes.
Oh my God.
So you're surprised?
Yes.
We're getting out there. So the first text I got was
Multiple.
yes, multiple. Well, the one text kind of went with the email. From George S asking, where's the new Three Different Dads episode? That was because I was out of town training in West Virginia. And to be honest, it would have been a great episode, but that night, Tuesday, we were supposed to do it, and we kind of all just like, we can't, whatever. I got pretty drunk that night, so that might have been an all-timer, but did not happen.
But we will never know.
No, we will never know. Email comes in to, if you want to email, it is 3differentdads@gmail.com. Had an email from Scott B. He yes, he just wanted to make some comments. So this was from our show 22. So I don't to be honest, I don't know what we're on right now.
I think it's like 100, but go
okay.
ahead.
Okay.
This is 176.
He talks about because this is just on the Cowboys. We were talking about the Cowboys. We were kind of talking about Mike McCarthy a little bit, if you recall, guys. He just wanted to make a comment that Mike McCarthy is one of 8 current head coaches with a Super Bowl win. Good coaches are hard to find. Good coaches are hard to find. Hard to win in the NFL. Mike is a good coach. He'll win one in Dallas. It's given the sustained chance more than 2 years. So that's what he said. What, Tyler?
That sounds like somebody that's
Jim, do you want to
Wisconsin.
comment? Do you want to comment on Peyton going to the Denver Broncos? Care to comment, Jim?
I mean, have fun with Russell Wilson. That's all.
Kid's a loser.
Scott B sounds like a real Mike McCarthy homer, though. So
he does.
He's the type of guy probably that has like Green Bay stock certificates.
Probably. I can see that. Yeah.
He's an owner of the team.
Yeah, 100%. One more comment on the dad jokes. Maybe a Twitter poll of who had the best dad jokes. All of your listeners enlist Scott, George, and Teresa Lipsky. As you recall, she was an avid listener. Would offer an odd number, so that would never be a tie.
Unless it goes 1-1-1.
Who made that? Was that from Scott B?
That was also from Scott B. And he says,
God,
I'm assuming Jim's mom doesn't actually listen regularly.
That's not true. I got to give a
right.
big shout out to Julie.
Okay. All right.
She came over Thursday, watched the kids so we could go to the Mavs game. And she was asking why we did not shout her out on the last episode.
Okay.
Wow.
So she's
demanding now.
Yeah. Oh, she was just like, I don't get a shout out. I said, okay. I'll see what I can do.
I'm gonna defer that to her son. That's Julie, that's the reason it didn't happen. Your son is on the podcast.
Yes.
So
yeah. So
all right. Now I feel like we have to shout out our moms.
Not if they don't listen.
That is true. I don't know.
I don't think my mom listens.
I don't know. I know my mom listens to the Nerdball podcast, part of the Nerdball Network, as is this show. 3 Different Dads is part of the Nerdball Network. Check out those. We had this week on the Nerdball podcast, we had Chelsea Westfall, the cousin of one of our good friends, Adam Gumpf, coming on, talk more dating. She had a pretty wild story about the FBI informant or FBI agent, so that was pretty sweet. And this Thursday,
FBI informant.
yes, yeah, you
I
got to listen.
probably
You gotta
shouldn't be
listen.
announcing to the
Well, it's
the
not what you think.
masses that
It's not what
I
you
know.
And on Thursday, Doug Heinbaugh, a photographer who just got off a big 6,000-mile across the country road trip. We talked about that at the end of the pod, but he had a bunch of good information. So check that out, the Nerdball podcast. Jim, you good?
Great.
All right. Do you want to start with NBA talk, or do you want to go into do we care?
We can start with NBA talk because that's
Okay.
what everybody cares about the most. I did mention this, I think, to Tyler right away. Maybe Lorenzo, I forget on there, but I've always said like Kyrie's definitely misunderstood.
Okay.
I've said that.
No, that was a
early,
direct
early on.
text to Lorenzo and I when
Yes, yes.
I followed it up by I got to pull up the text chain because it was
So just out of the blue, I was thinking before it even happened, I was just like, what did he really say? Right?
Yeah, but it's not just one. It's not just like this season. It's like years of stuff.
Lorenzo said in the text chain, and I quote, Mavs winning it all. This was directly after the announcement came out. And Jim said, I've always said Kyrie is misunderstood. And then I followed it up by saying it's a championship or a disaster. And then I followed it up by saying, Jim, serious question. Are you more worried or more excited? And then Jim got real and he said it's the last year of his deal and he wants to get paid. So he'll basically try.
Mavs are
maybe.
going to get the best Kyrie Irving that you can get.
Okay, but what is that?
I don't know about that, Jim, because he was already on record today not backing down from his anti-Semitic comments.
Hey, just
What?
the man can ball.
Okay.
What?
The man can ball. He can be anti-Semitic.
But to back it up a little bit, I went to a Dallas Mavericks game Thursday.
Okay.
The Mavs were up by 25 points in the third quarter.
Is Luka still hurt, by the way? I don't remember.
Luka got hurt in that game.
Okay.
And so they were up 25 points. He gets hurt. And they were playing a god-awful I forget the team that they were playing at the time.
You were there.
I know.
Too many margaritas.
Right.
What?
It was New Orleans because Zion wasn't playing.
Okay.
And so, anyways, so they're up 25. It's like, okay, hey, with about 10 minutes to go, Dallas has been in a complete shitstorm in terms of ice and everything else. It was about 35 degrees, so everything was melting. We made our track down. It's starting to get a little cooler. It's around 10 o'clock at night now. Look at my wife. I say, hey, if they score 10 points in the fourth quarter, we'll win this game. I don't think New Orleans is going to score 35 points. Like, we'll be good. The Mavs never got to that 10 points. It was a one-possession game with a minute to go. And so we pretty much stayed till the entire game. They have zero offense when Luka's not on the court. And so you had to do something. They won their first game yesterday without Luka playing. And they looked really good yesterday. But
so my question to you is, sure, but you in the text you made a point like, hey, it's the last year of his deal. He has to be good. Cool. That's fine for this year. But what about next year? They gotta try and sign him because they just gave up all those guys in picks and they're just gonna suck again next year.
Okay. They got out. No, we didn't give up on guys. We got out of shitty long-term contracts. So
yeah, but these guys aren't horrible.
Once again, we're up 25 points against the New Orleans Pelicans, who had nobody playing and were trash.
Okay.
And they couldn't score 10 points in the fourth quarter. And so Dinwiddie, he has games when he'll score like 15 points and look good. And he has games where it's like, I completely forgot that he was even out there. There's like, so we gave up him. Finney Smith, I really like Finney Smith, but
yes,
he's a undrafted free agent that the Mavs developed and brought through the system. He's a good role NBA player. Yes. We gave up draft picks. if we have Luka on the team, we're not going to have a top 10 draft pick. So it's like, okay, we got out of these. If we don't re-sign Kyrie at the end of the year, we have almost enough to offer a max to anyone that we want. And there's players like, so the difference now, what's cool is before when Dirk was here, I don't think players really wanted to come and play with Dirk for whatever reason, even though everybody's like good teammate, but he's not a ball handler. Luka, I think people like to play with him because he gets them wide open shots. So it's one of these where it's like, okay, we could probably, if it doesn't work with Kyrie, we've still freed ourselves up in a position to go and sign somebody.
I will bet you I will bet you some money that they will not sign a big time free agent.
Dallas has never signed a big time free agent.
100%. So what do we? So you just went on that whole like, hey, we're gonna sign people want to play
Here's
for him,
the difference.
whatever.
Here's the difference. The NBA 20 years ago, it was all about who'd you play AAU ball with. Who like all those dudes were just teaming up together and playing together. Now it's much more Luka's cool. Luka, like Dirk was awesome, but Dirk was never like the cool guy at the like in the league. Like LeBron doesn't come out and be like, "Hey, I want to play with Dirk." It's I would love to play with Luka. He's all-star starter. He's out there doing so. That's where I feel like they can make some waves.
My favorite
go ahead,
part
Tyler.
of
Yeah.
all of this, no, I was just gonna say my favorite part of all this was that story that came out yesterday with the Nets owner saying that he told the GM he does not care where you trade him anywhere but the Lakers. And I thought
Yeah,
that was
so
fucking hilarious because
I
Kyrie
love
wanted
that
to. Yeah, allegedly Kyrie wanted to maybe rekindle his old relationship with LeBron,
So-
and then I just thought that was funny.
I'm gonna guess your boy Mark Cuban's gonna sign Kyrie, and then what's gonna happen? Then it's all like after this year. If he signs, let's say, I mean, he can get 2 years, 80 million. I think they said. So if he signs 2 years, 80 million, there's no guarantee he's gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna play for for 2 years. I mean, he's given up on like 3 franchises.
That's
1,000%. No, actually, they could re-sign him before the end of the season and under a 2-year contract.
Yeah.
At the end of the season, it could be a 4-year contract.
Yeah.
So they've said that essentially it's not going to be. I mean, yeah, that's great. The Mavs are watching the same thing we're all watching too, right? Like it's not like they're like, oh my God, I didn't know this about Kyrie and what's happening. It's a calculated risk that they're taking. And it's like, hey, if we can do this, the team that they had before, like going into it, was just not a good team. Like they just, and it's the problem too, especially with the NBA right now, is everything's so ball dominant because it's like, hey, the analytics say you want to just get the ball to your best player and let him do his thing, which is fine. But it's like, okay, when that best player is not on there, you still need people that can create and do stuff. And so, yeah,
I'll agree. I'll agree with you that it's going to make them a better team this year. Like, obviously, Kyrie is still really good when he decides that he wants to play. I'm fine with that. My point is, Mark Cuban regardless of how you feel about those players, like I think he would take it as a loss if at the end of the season they didn't sign Kyrie. Like he's too much of a CEO type to just be like, well, we're not gonna sign him. They're gonna try to sign him. Now, does he want to stay there? That's a different thing.
Also, the Mavs still have moves to make. Like, I don't think Tim Hardaway Jr. will be on the team much longer. I also don't think like Christian Wood, like he's, I think, like very heavily rumored in trades too. So it's like, okay, what's happening there? Also, there's guys that will be available either. So it's like you go through this season, let's see what happens. Okay, if things don't work out, the NBA players get upset and leave, like switch teams all the time so frequently. So it's like, okay, can we just keep ourselves in position so if that next star wants to go, then we can be a potential landing spot for them.
In free agency?
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because I mean, you just traded 2 first-round picks, so that's going to be a little more difficult.
Yeah, but also like in the NBA, I just don't feel like draft picks, unless you have like that lottery pick or that unprotected like super future pick, then those are valuable. But even that, it's like the Sixers tanked forever
Yeah.
and they got top draft picks, and yet it's really just one of their first round draft picks is still the guy that's still on the team doing stuff.
Mhm.
Like they whiffed on like 4. So it's like, if that's your theory to build through the draft, to just get like, you need to hit, like it's like one every 4 years that you have like guys coming through that are actual like, hey, we can build around this guy. It's not, I feel like, where the NFL like, hey, we can get a second round guy and he'll come in here and he'll start for us for multiple times. So
Yeah.
I'm not super high on the draft aspect of things. Like and also this was all cleared through Luka. Like the Mavs aren't doing any of this unless Luka's like, yeah, let's go ahead and do like pull that trigger.
I also think that they wouldn't have trade. Part of me thinks, because this happens a lot too, they wouldn't have traded for Kyrie without Kyrie giving a wink saying, yeah, I'll sign an extension if you do whatever, because that happens quite a bit too. Now, it doesn't happen all the time, but I'm sure there was some sort of, could possibly have been a deal there too.
Yeah,
60% of the time it works every time.
I mean, Kyrie's a total head case. Like he was the last, like I was not like, hey, let's go get this dude. Like that would complete our team. But it then also, the Mavs did really well last year with Jalen Brunson, like being that second point guard to come off, and like he helped carry them in a playoff series as well when Luka got hurt. So it's like, okay, Irving's definitely an upgrade over Jalen Brunson over a short period of time. Like I look at this as a short-term play. I would be very surprised if the Mavs offer him a long-term contract.
Yeah.
I don't know why anyone would be like, hey, here's a 4-year deal for Kyrie.
I don't think 4 years, but I think they'll give him a contract.
Maybe, I mean,
I think there's more likely that he gets a contract from them than any big time superstar coming to free agency to Dallas. I think that's a better chance.
We'll see. No state income tax.
Everyone always says that. Yeah, so do there's other NBA teams that don't have that either. And it's never happened to anybody.
So I mean,
all right. Well, let's we can move on after I enjoyed the conversation. Tyler was looking around like he had nothing to say, but that's all right.
I'll be at Kyrie's first Mavs game.
Oh,
I
nice.
think it's a mistake. That's all.
Yeah.
I just think he's burnt down some really should have been really good teams. That Nets team, I'm sorry, should have done something. So
yeah, KD never plays.
KD never plays?
He was hurt for an entire year.
Sure, but that was 2 years ago. It's not like he's saying anti-Semitic stuff and not getting a vaccine, and that's why he's not playing. I mean, he got hurt. You know what I mean? Like I think there's two totally different things on that.
Tomato.
No, it's not tomato.
That is, I don't think that's how that saying works.
All right, Jim. Do we care?
All right, do we care? We're doing a science edition of Do We Care?
Got it.
Because the news, it just wasn't that great.
It was sad.
I just don't really give a shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. There's a big speech today, so whatever. Netherlands, crab leftovers are found in a Portuguese cave.
What does that mean? Like
crab on one side of the world ended up on the other side of the world.
I'm interested because I'm interested in that one. I do care about that one.
Okay.
I would click it. I feel like that's clickbait.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
A new asteroid photobombs James Webb telescope.
Photobombs.
That's what they said. Says
so
it's the smallest object yet that it's picked up.
So they were looking at something else, and then an asteroid just comes floating across.
Yep, that they never saw before.
All right. Okay. I don't really care.
SpaceX Falcon 9 delivers 5-ton communication satellite to orbit. I
Yeah.
don't know how much those machines, like how much does a thing normally weigh? I would think it's um
They're probably pretty
here's kind of crazy.
Pretty heavy.
pretty heavy.
A lot.
Hidden molten rock layer found beneath Earth's tectonic plates. Hidden molten rock layer found beneath Earth's tectonic plates.
Isn't the Earth already made up of molten rock? Don't we already know that?
Liquid hot magma.
Like how it's a secret. Like they were digging for something else. Like, oh my gosh,
Oh my God.
molten rock.
I was watching some video on, I think it was Instagram, but it's like it shows the depth of the seas.
Mhm.
And it like starts, it's just like, okay, here's kind of normal, and then it gets bigger, and then it shows like the Statue of Liberty, and then it keeps going, and then it's like the Eiffel Tower, and then the building in Dubai and all this shit.
Mhm.
Pretty crazy.
Okay, all right.
That
Fun
graph
fact,
is
the
crazy
ocean-
because all
Ocean
the-
is very deep.
Yeah. Fun fact. I like it. I like
I'm
it.
just I think you missed
There's
your
probably
calling.
so
You
much
should have been a
stuff down there that
science
we've
teacher,
just
Jim.
never.
Could you imagine Jim teaching like a 6th grade science class? Look at them
Fun
all in the
fact.
face and be like, "Fun fact, everyone: the ocean is deep." Deep.
Fun
Yeah,
fact.
so
It's cloudy.
it's yeah, no, that's
right.
really
Is that it?
that,
I have a
that's
couple.
really
I have a
about
couple.
it.
Do we care?
Hold on.
Okay, hit it.
This is a
Hit
good
it.
one.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson's estate
Yep.
is about to sell his music catalog.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
How much do you think that they're going to offer, or how much they're
are they asking?
estimating? Yeah, what they will go for?
10 billion. 10 bills.
I would say 50 billion.
Billion?
Yeah.
B.
800 to 900 million.
All right.
They're
don't
way
know.
undervaluing that.
Dude, $1 billion
undervalued.
is you could buy the entire NFL for that amount.
For how much?
$50 billion.
Hey, I was just
I don't
throwing a
know if you
number out
could,
there.
man. I don't know if
I
you
mean,
could.
a couple bill will get you a team.
I like 4 bill now.
Yeah. Thanks
What-
a lot, Joe Biden.
Actually, I think there was a sale that happened before that.
100.
Okay, I have a do we care?
$1,000,000,000.
I have 2 do we
Okay.
cares. I have a sports one
Let's
and a
do it.
dad one.
Let's do it.
Do we care that LeBron James is going to break the all-time scoring record?
I had that next up on my thing.
Yeah.
But that's okay. No, I don't.
Not at all?
Today.
Possibly today.
He needs, yeah.
He needs like 38 points or something.
Yeah. Can you tell me how many points is the record?
I want to say like 38,000 some, maybe. I think.
That's how little we care about it.
I mean, I
It's
care
cool.
because it's I care for the same reason like people like I don't really care about Tom Brady, but I liked when he won Super Bowls because it's like, man, this is like the greatest quarterback ever. It's cool to be living now to see that. And when you get older, like, hey, I saw that guy play as dads do. Same reason for LeBron James, like he's arguably the best NBA player ever, and we get to watch him play. And not only do we get to watch him play, I said arguably, I didn't say he is the best player. Arguably means we can argue about it. And we get to see him break the all-time scoring record that I'm sure at some point people were like, this record's never going to be broken, kind of thing. It's kind of like seeing Cal Ripken Jr., play over 1 billion games, in a row. Like all these, I think these things are cool from a sports fan point of view because it's things that we might not see again in our lifetime. Like I just think they're cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's just like the only thing I'd say is like all the NFL records and basketball records, I don't really care about.
Yeah.
Like I don't care like it's awesome. I guess like like winning championships, it's cool to be like, okay, this person has X number.
Mhm.
But like how many who's the leader in like passing yards or passing touchdowns or
Tom Brady
whatever
and
that
Tom Brady.
is. Yeah. But it's just like for a while when it was like, hey, Drew Brees has it, and then it goes back like it was going back every week. Like it's kind
You
of
didn't,
like
but you didn't like that. Like I thought it was cool. Like, hey, there's people actively playing right now that are simultaneously, continuously, I should say, breaking the record week after week. They keep breaking the record, going back and forth. I just think it's cool.
it's one of those like the home run record was something I feel like when we grew up, like like I knew it was 61. Like that was a no, like that was something where it's like, oh, okay, if you
Mhm.
hit over 40 home, like if you get to 50 home runs in a season, like okay, then you know this is going really well. Now I have such a difficult time, even in basketball, where it's like with the offensive explosion, it's just like I don't even know if that even equates to having a good season now or not. Like I don't know if averaging a triple double does that it really mean that they're having a good season, or are they just like the team knows like if it's a foul shot, he's going to get the rebound, so like whatever, or they're just chucking up 3 pointers like crazy. I know I feel like the old man on this, but
A
it's just
hundred
like
percent. Yes.
it's just like I like watching greatness. Like I love watching these guys play. I don't like LeBron as a basketball player, but I think like he's done amazing stuff. All of his championships though has pretty much been carried by somebody else, but that's another topic for another
Oh
day.
my god.
But it's it's awesome to see just like studs play. But the record itself, the numbers,
Tyler.
I'm just yeah. I all this episode, I feel like I just keep quoting movies, and I'm reminded of now Star Wars. The hate runs through you, like like the old guy in Star Wars, like something about like this guy hates everybody. And
I'll say
that's James right now. He just hater.
no,
Taking
no,
his
no.
haterade.
So here's the I think LeBron James has done everything correct in his career. Never gets in trouble, never like
False. He did
great.
not blast China. That's why.
Okay.
That's why I don't like him.
No. So
He's two-faced.
there's all that type of stuff. But him as a player,
He's a
like
great player. But my all-time is
Wait,
Michael
you don't
Jordan.
even think he's a great player, Jim?
No, I
he's
said he
very
was. Who
he's
you
No,
talking to?
Jimmy, Tyler, you said he's a great player, and Jimmy shook his head no. Like,
Oh,
who's a great player? Who's better than him? Like,
no, he's a very good player.
oh my god, are you kidding me right now?
Jim, if you were gonna form a franchise, LeBron or Luka, who are you taking and why?
I would pick Luka every day of the week.
I know
That's
you
fine.
would.
That's an easy. That's a homer one. Okay,
No, but
All right.
here's what I can't stand.
Luka
He's
versus Michael Jordan. Go.
no, I would take MJ. He has
Are you
zero
sure?
dog. He is. I am. Hey, if the Lakers are up by 10, he's doing crazy plays like he's fade away three. He's driving. He's alley ooping. He's high fiving his teammates. If they're down by 4 and things just aren't going, like like it's just like his
Okay.
asshole gets so tight at the end of games, and it just puckers up, and it's just like okay.
but that's
What
that's
do you do?
human. That's everybody ever.
No, it's not everybody.
That's a high school kid when
Tom
you're up
Brady
by.
doesn't do that.
That's
Tom
that's
Brady
a,
doesn't do that.
he doesn't
Michael
high
Jordan,
five his teammates on the sideline.
he doesn't. His asshole doesn't pucker up. His teammate, he's out there telling his teammates like, "Hey, we got this. We're good." LeBron's like, all of a sudden, he's just disappears.
Okay,
JJ Barea stopped. JJ Barea shut down LeBron James in NBA Finals.
Okay, do you realize since
JJ Barea
okay,
Jose
listen,
Juan
listen.
took
You're
on
basically saying LeBron James isn't clutch, which is fine. Every hater says that all the time about LeBron James. Since 1995, they and I can, if you want me to play these stats, I can play them. It was what's his name? Reddick was like going on this rant about it. Since 1995, LeBron James has the most fourth quarter and overtime game-winning buckets out of anybody. Like, and
Okay,
everyone says
that's
he's
right.
not clutch. Like, he is a great player. For you to say he's a very good player is so ridiculous.
He
Every stat backs it up. You can't have your feelings are getting in the way. Every stat
No,
backs
they're
it up that
not.
he is one of the greatest players. Just because you don't like how he plays, or just because he's this way when they're winning and he's this way when they're not winning or doing poorly or whatever, it doesn't negate the fact that he has stats and he does well and he's been doing it since
He
he's
has
18.
stats
He's
because he's
38
bigger and
years
faster
old.
than
He's
everybody.
38 years old. He's still averaging almost 30 points a game. Like,
Yeah,
all these
it's
things,
great.
it's ridiculous.
He's averaging 30 points a game for a team that's not even in the playoffs, and yet they have another all-star right next to him, and he can't get it done.
Okay, again, he has one. I'm not even getting the championships because you apparently
No.
don't think they
Yeah.
exist. But
Which one? The one that Kyrie won for him when he hit the last second shot?
it was
That
okay.
one?
One shot. I don't
Which one
understand.
are we
How is
doing?
that win
The
an
one
NBA
The
championship?
one where Ray Allen hit the three-pointer after LeBron bricked the shit out of the three-pointer before that, and Chris Bosh tipped it out and got him the ball.
So did Michael Jordan win every game on the last shot of 6 championships? Because that's all you're saying right now is that he didn't win NBA championships because somebody else made the last shot. It's a 7-game series. Yeah, your two examples you brought up were someone making the last shot on two games. That was your example.
Because LeBron airballed it at the end. MJ kicked it out to his teammate because he was doubled, and that's what the play designed to do. LeBron went like early on, and then also LeBron holds the franchise hostage so that they do all these short-term little fixes to try to get things better.
Yeah,
and instead, like, that's
I
what
can agree.
screwed him up
I mean,
in
I don't like
Cleveland.
that. I don't like that.
And then he leaves Cleveland because it's like, oh, I'm going to go play with these guys because it's too like it's super difficult for me to play. Like, I've lost. I couldn't get over it. So now I'm going to go dip with my boys, which is fine. He has that right to do it. But then it's like, oh, I'm going to come home. The only reason he came back home is because they had Kyrie and like they were able to bring Kevin Love, and it was a situation. It wasn't like, oh, I have unfinished business in Cleveland. So all I'm like, yes, he scores a shitload of points. He's bigger and faster than everybody. He drives to the basket, and that's about it.
When
Also,
when
he also
Luka
broke down on the court.
when Luka leaves, will you still love Luka as much?
Let's see.
Okay.
Dude, Dirk went 21 years here.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you said
it's a
said
different NBA now,
basketball.
though.
Yeah,
It's a
you
different
said
NBA.
We'll see.
basketball is a
Yeah.
different NBA from
We'll
20
see.
years ago.
They played. Dirk and Luka played together.
Yeah.
They're boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Dirk's not there.
Dirk was there.
No,
There's very few
now, I'm saying
players
now.
these days though that stick around anywhere. I will say that. Like, trying to think. I mean,
It doesn't take a lot anymore. Like Jim was saying, the NBA is different. It doesn't take a lot anymore to be like, all right, I'm gonna go somewhere else. I'm good.
yeah, I think some guys just like a new challenge. Like, I honestly do think some are like that. They're built like that. Is they just want a different change of scenery. Like one guy that comes to mind, which Steph Curry. Like I'm not sure if he'll always stay in Golden
I think he'll
State.
stay there. He's too older. He's old. I mean, he's not old, but he's older now where he wouldn't leave.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, things have definitely changed. I don't think there's any like you gotta that's my home. You gotta I think those days are gone.
Yeah.
I think across all sports they're gone.
I don't know. We'll see. The way Dirk is embraced in Dallas and the way he loves that.
That's not even a knock on your boy on what do you call him, White Jesus?
Yeah, it's not even. It's just like the fact that like I also wonder too, like if you're KD, and I guess he doesn't care about this to a point, but like how much bigger is he because he's in? Like that's what I always hated is like, well, they're in smaller markets. They want to get out to LA or they want to get out to New York, and it's like if you just win in whatever market you're in, the NBA goes to you. Like these teams go, like you're going to be the primetime game at this period. Now, granted, like maybe you don't want to live in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to it now though that like players are wised up to it because of like, I'm sure agents, but just I do think players are a lot wiser, and like you can sell a ton of jerseys to your point in Oklahoma City, but how many more times jerseys can you sell in New York or Los Angeles, even
Yeah,
Chicago?
yeah, but
Like
I don't even. They're not
infinite
even
amount of
talking
money.
about when they decide to go to those big markets. It's not like, hey, obviously they're loved wherever they're playing their star. They're loved there. A lot of people like those bigger markets because they can do other things outside of basketball.
Right.
Yeah.
But then
That's
at
why
the
Well,
they
same
go there.
I
point, I
just
guess
use
it's like,
jersey sales as an example, but I think yeah, you can open up your markets like exponentially in a larger city than you
Yeah.
can in Oklahoma City. So I get it why people leave,
I don't know.
but
I also feel though,
this
if
coming from a
you're,
Guardians fan, Indians fan.
if
I've seen
you're,
everyone leave.
but like if you're Giannis, right?
Mhm.
Like you've won a championship there. He's done like that's I felt like 20 years ago players were leaving because like I need to get a championship. They're everybody's knocking me because I don't have a championship. And Giannis has that in Milwaukee. Like if he finishes out his career there, like obviously all these guys are set, but it's like, but then you're like the guy from like
Mhm.
that city that you run that city. You go to LA, you're just another dude. You go to New York, like maybe not because the Knicks have been irrelevant for a long time, but like,
There's some people that don't care about that though.
yeah,
I mean, I agree with you. Like it'd be like, I mean, I'm a Spurs fan, and like all our guys stayed, but again, like they stayed because that was the NBA, and Tim Duncan was I don't know if you ever heard the story. He was basically
he's
out
a
of or
magic.
he would have went to Orlando if they would have let his wife fly on the airplane, and they said no, and he said, okay, well, I'm not going there. So like there are times when that would have happened, but they stayed there in a small market, won the championships, and I mean that's just because they
Yeah.
wanted to. They wanted to be the big people in that small town, and they liked it there, and that's what happened. You know.
Yeah.
Also, LeBron doesn't want his son to get judged based on LeBron, and his name's Bronny Jr. And he shows up to all of his son's basketball games
We've
and
circled back to
dances on the
LeBron. Is
courts.
that what just happened there?
So,
I was trying to
I
get
mean,
away from that.
We can stop talking. Yeah, I was too. We can stop talking about LeBron anytime
I
now.
do have another. Do we care, or do you care? Is
Okay.
it do we care?
So that one, I think we care.
We care in different ways. I think. Um,
tomorrow, okay, he breaks it today, hypothetically.
yeah.
A week from now, are you like, man, that was so cool that we got to see him break that record?
I don't
Just
think
one of
about
those where it's like, oh, I got to see the guy who has the most points in the NBA school like play.
I don't think about it. I don't think. Yes, it's important now, right? Is Tyler frozen? Tyler is frozen. He is frozen in the weirdest way. I don't think about it a week from now. I think about it years from now. When it's one of those things like when they flash back or when they say who has like me and Mateo or
Yes,
even a grandson is like, oh, he's out, I guess. Watching like LeBron James, whatever points and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah,
Tyler
and I can
really
talk
hated
about that, right?
LeBron.
What's
Yeah, Tyler really hated LeBron.
that? Oh man, I wanted him here for my other. We'll have to wait then until he comes back.
Hey, are you still playing golf,
No,
or
I
do you
haven't
play
played.
ever?
No, never.
I came across some pictures of us. God, this was when I
Oh
went
yeah,
back to Ohio, probably like 12 years ago,
yeah.
and it was the first time I took my wife back to Ohio, and me, you, Gumph, and I think Tyler, and it was starting to rain. But there's pictures of us out golfing, and so
Was it at Golf Dimensions?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I remember that.
great.
That's probably one of the last times I golfed.
So I actually I'm going out this week, so
It's been a
I'm gonna try to
it's you're saying
try
it's
to get back to it.
okay. I'll say it sounded like you're saying that like it's been a while.
It's been a very long while, but
Oh, okay.
I need to remember like the biggest tip that I heard from this pro though is make sure like that you have two pairs of socks.
I hate you. In case you get, in case you get a hole in one.
I wasn't sure how I was going to weave that in there,
Not well.
but I did it.
No, that was good. It said
I'm not
Tyler has
involved.
joined the meeting. He joined an
So,
old meeting. Uh, yeah, he joined like I don't almost a month ago. Why is he looking at that email? Send me the link again. Shit just died. What does that mean? All right, this is crazy. Yeah, Jim, I thought you were gonna wait I don't know. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right. Sorry, everybody. Apparently, Tyler needs this invite sent again. Jim,
yeah.
how do you decide what your backgrounds are going to be? Or you just randomly pick one?
I don't know. I needed to pick me up.
Why?
It's been a long couple weeks at work, and it's just like,
All
okay, we'll get there. So,
right. When Tyler comes back on, I do want to talk a little, see where we're at with HOA and the basketball hoop. Or I guess you can just talk about it now. Is that a
no change
still
to
a
the
saga?
HOA.
Nothing at all. Has any letters been sent to this person?
There was a letter. The problem was I skipped the last meeting that we had,
Mm.
and then the next meeting I'm going to be at the Mavs game. So it is what it is.
So you're missing more.
I
There he is.
I can't emphasize enough.
Yeah.
I really don't give a shit about the HOA right now.
Wait, right
Like,
now, was there a time you did care?
at the beginning, I was kind of like, oh, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
It's fine. Now I'm like,
How many meetings are you into it?
What?
How many
Oh.
meetings are you into it now? Where you already don't care about the HOA?
I think 4.
4. Okay.
Did you think it was going to be something else? Or what did you think?
Yeah, there's myself and one other person that's probably around the same age, and then it's all like a lot older people.
Mm.
And it's just like
It's
there's
hard to
things
get
in
shit
my
done,
life
isn't
as
it?
I get older, I give less and less shits about.
Mm.
And what's weird and what I really am concerned about myself in the future is like they seem to get to a certain age that it's like less and less things that really matter they seem to care more and more about. And it's like I really need to guard myself against that. Like there's
Yeah.
things I just
Like, do they argue in that meeting? Do they argue that the M&Ms are changing what their characters look like? Do they argue about that stuff?
not that, but it's like the same thing over and over again.
Okay.
And it's just
All right.
it's like
Yeah, I have something similar with mine is we have like I don't even know. It might be like a 4-foot like brick wall and it's like out on Bancroft, you know. So
Mhm.
it's just there for like looks. That's all it's there for. Well, I guess last year I guess they got a quote from some guy and some guy wanted like $50,000 to fix it because I guess when it was first built, it has like water damage or something. So
Mm.
basically it just keeps deteriorating. And the president, he's the one that like he keeps talking about this wall. Like that's all he wants to talk about. And I even brought it up like 2 meetings ago. I was like, does anyone even think we don't need that wall anymore? Like, why don't we just put up like a row of hedges or something like where that wall stood or is right now?
Yeah.
I was like, that's kind of how I feel about this stupid wall. Is like, I don't want to spend $50,000 of like the condo association money to fix this stupid wall. But this, like, the president, he's 81 or 82, and but this is like, that's what he's cares about is this stupid wall.
Just wait them out.
So, I think I can.
So what do the other people say about it? Like
No one
are they
else,
with you? Are they
no
just
one says anything. Like
Yeah.
it comes up only because like, you know, every year, like we do like an outdoor inspection and like somebody must have years ago noticed like, oh, there's some like cracking on this wall. Well, I guess they actually had some professional come out and take a look. And for whatever reason, like when they built this little, again, it's just like a visual wall. That's all it really is. It does nothing.
Aesthetics.
aesthetics. Thank you. That's the word. But yeah, it does nothing. And for whatever reason, they didn't like, there's some weeping holes that you should put in. I don't know enough about what it is, but
Mm.
I guess they got some ridiculous quotes. So they're going to try some other things. But this is like the stupid wall is like what this guy wants to like.
Yeah,
That
try
is
it.
the ground. That is what he wants to like stand for is this wall.
Tell him you can
build that wall.
you can tell him you can tear it down and then you could build his headstone out of it.
I I just kind of skipped over it again. Like we didn't really talk about the wall because
Yeah.
there was a more pressing issue. So my update for my association was we the one like cost that we all know of, and this is I probably won't even be here that long, but they're already talking like roofing, like because your big project with the condo association is always the roofing project, and
Mhm.
we got a quote this year for 190,000 to fix it for the 3 buildings that are part of this thing. And anyway, we don't have nearly enough money, even if we're collecting the fees like increasing every year. I think we figured out we're going to be about like 30 or $40,000 short by the time we would need this. Yeah, small details. That's just shoulder shrug. So I just looked at the lady that like we work with like a maintenance, not a maintenance, but I guess they do maintenance, but they're a building management company. And I said, okay, how do we increase fees? And she's like, oh, you just have to basically like put it to a vote, and the type of voting system that a lot of associations have. You just put it to a vote, and then you have to get over 50% to decline it, or else it goes through because the board is actually the one that says yay or nay, I guess. And then if we say, yep, we want to do this because we're going to be short and we want to increase fees, and then we have to put it to a vote. And then, but it's interesting because she's just like, if you guys say yes to this project, it'll just keep getting voted on every single year. I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Like it's the whole like you're just gonna kick the can down the road, like
Yeah.
the saying is kick the can. So
No, we got
she's
it.
like, yeah, just making sure all the listeners got it.
Yeah. I don't know how to segue in from anywhere from that.
That was yeah. I just
All right.
What's-
I do
what's
have
my
I do
Zoom
have
my
wait,
Zoom dropped. My Zoom
I do
dropped.
have
And...
I do have one more. Do we care?
Okay, go
Yeah.
ahead.
As
You
dads.
missed a good joke too, by the way.
Yeah.
What was the joke?
I got it. I got it. I got it before the punchline.
I was going to the.
Oh, we're gonna redo it.
Yeah,
I
I did
play
hear it.
golf.
Go ahead.
It's gonna go play golf, but I needed to make sure I packed 2 pairs of socks.
Okay.
Guess I get a hole in one. You got you.
Oh my god. All right, here we go. One more. Do we care?
So cheesy. Go ahead.
As dads, how much? First of all, how much say did you have in naming your children and child? Do you remember really?
I remember going through the names book. I do
Mhm.
remember this,
Mhm.
and we settled on Olivia, so we didn't even get that far because
Okay.
letter A. Olivia.
Okay. All right.
I think I made it to C, and I think I was like tired one night or something, and I was like, "Who would name their kid Cholo?" And then she's like, "That's Chloe."
Oh my god. Then she
So
goes,
now-
"You are not picking the kids."
Exactly. I was so now anytime I see like Chloe's
Yeah.
like around around like my daughter's school, usually like I always giggle to myself. I'm like, Cholo, what's up?
I don't remember how much say. I don't think I had as much, or I cared, but they were also taking my last name. So that to me, that was more important. But I still like wanted to be involved. And
Yeah.
really like, I know with Lillian, we named her after Andrea's grandma. And then her middle name is my grandma's middle name. And then Mateo, I think we just liked Mateo. It has nothing to do with families or anything. And then his middle name is my father-in-law's middle name. But like I said, I think I was more like, well, it's going to be Melcher. So obviously, so whatever. Jim?
I had veto power. So my wife came out strong with like a very southern like double name,
Like Gracie Lou or something?
stupid shit like that. Yes. Like, So I
Nope.
just no. We need
Yeah.
no. We both really like the name Brooke. Her mother's middle name is Lynn, so it's like we can do Brooklyn,
Okay.
and then took my mom's middle name.
So she's still got a double name, but it's just hidden in one name.
Wow, we've we did the name Brooklyn,
Yeah.
and then we're like, oh well, this could be. We'll say the Lynn part is for my mother-in-law.
All right. All right.
And then my other daughter, we just kind of went with Mackenzie, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, the reason I asked you is because there is I don't know if we care. Maybe not because we already have our children. Um, but that there's certain names that are just like dropping out that aren't getting used. Like the name Lance isn't used. I don't know if it was just like an older name or whatever. But there's a lot of other ones. But it used to be used. Like in medieval times, Lance was used a lot. You know, they used Lance a lot.
I knew it. I knew where you were going with that. I just I knew the story was like just too off-putting.
I was about to say,
Anyway.
I know some Lances. This doesn't
I was just
seem correct at all.
I know some Lances.
I was waiting for some sort of joke like minus a ball, like
Oh.
something with
I also
one
messed the joke.
testicle.
I mean, you guys still got it, but I also messed it up, so I'm pretty mad at myself about it. So
That's okay.
That's
we
all
can
right.
cut this. We'll just cut this.
no.
I'm not going to forgive you about that, but
I do like the challenge of figuring out a story to make the dad joke, but we're so like Jim was talking when you weren't here. He was talking about golf, and as he was going more and more in my head, I'm like,
You were like, here it comes.
I know what this is
Here
going to
it
be,
comes.
but it was too late. It was too late where he's paused at the punchline, and I said the punchline. I knew it, but he still got me because it was. I had a feeling. I think it's the way we tell stories.
I think you guys are building it up too much now. I really do. I think you are.
I
that's why I'm just gonna pull up my dad joke and just wing
spoken
it.
like someone that does not have the ability to weave a joke inside the story.
100%. Because I know what the people want, and they want it at the end of the show. They just want a terrible, corny dad joke at the end of the show. They don't want it woven into a story.
Are we? Well, we're not there yet. We still.
Well, we're not there. I'm going to start prepping now so
Oh,
I
we're
can give the
not?
people what they really want. No, we're not.
Why do you have to leave? Do you want to do a random draft? Do you have any random drafts?
Oh shit. No, but I'm down to do one.
Ty, I can give you guys something.
Random draft. Give us something.
Remember we I think we did the blue one the first time. So I have one if you guys want to do it together. I just thought of it as I was looking at a stuffed animal.
I forgot this random draft idea.
Yeah. Well, we've only done it once, and this is
well, we have a new segment like every week.
Yeah.
So
Actually, we've had one that has actually become a staple of the show now. So
I have a draft, and I don't know, Tyler, if you'd be good at it, but we can try.
That seems like an insult.
I'm waiting for the insult. That's why I'm remaining quiet.
I don't think you're a big NBA guy, but I'm just.
I would just, if Michael Jordan was my top choice, that's all I'll draft.
NBA players from the 90s that you thought were going to be really good, but just never like.
Ooh, I don't know if I know that.
Materialized.
I don't know if I know enough about the NBA to know that. The 90s? Man, I didn't start watching the NBA until the Spurs were good.
Yeah, which was in the 90s.
Yeah, but that was late 90s.
Okay, never mind.
I'm sorry, man. I can't off the dome. I don't have it. Do you have somebody that
I mean, like Harold Miner would be up there.
Yeah.
Kerry Kittles, I thought was going to be a stud.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's
a good one.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sean Bradley.
There.
Sean
He
Bradley.
was a little bit later on, but you thought Sean Bradley? I don't know.
I'm just
Tall
looking
white
at
guy.
I'm just looking at biggest bust in the 90s. Jonathan Bender. He was drafted in 1999 though. Sean
I
Bradley,
don't even know who the hell it is.
Todd Fuller. I don't know who
Kenyon
that is.
Martin. I thought Kenyon Martin coming out of college was going to like dominate. Like
Yeah.
he made me want to be like, oh, University of Cincinnati, that's a cool place to play basketball.
Yeah.
Um,
Ed O'Bannon.
Since then, what?
Ed O'Bannon. You know what
Yeah.
his biggest thing is? His claim to fame?
Yeah, I got the video games taken.
Yeah,
away.
he's the one that had that lawsuit against the NCAA. Yeah. Michael Olowokandi.
But he wasn't. He wasn't good in college. Do you know where he went to college?
He went to college.
Colgate.
That's where he went. Are you saying that's where he went?
I'm 99% sure that's where he went.
Yeah, I don't know where he went. It doesn't say. Okay. Well,
Like Darius Miles, I thought was going to be awesome.
Yeah.
He was cool for like a season or two.
Would you like to hear my draft?
Sorry, I completely derailed. Like
No, it's fine.
we were cruising. We switched
No, we're
lanes.
good.
You have
And then-
derailed.
We just fell off the tracks completely.
No, we're good. We can have in another 25 episodes. We can have the same draft that you just said. But which episode of the podcast did you think was going to finish strong?
Definitely
No.
not.
No, I had one. It should be fairly quick. Top three pork products. Now, doesn't necessarily have to be food, but your top 3 pork products. I don't remember who went first last time.
I'll just go first. Bacon.
Okay, but that's good. Yes, yeah. Ty,
I'll go ribs.
Okay, all right, that's good too. Yep.
Shredded pork shoulder, like barbecue
yeah.
shredded pork.
Yeah, that's good. Carnitas.
Hmm.
You don't know?
Clear one that I completely whiffed on, but
that's a lot. I feel like it's a lot of pressure.
it is.
Ty.
Oh.
Is there time?
Pork sausage, like sausage.
Thank you. Pork chop.
Yeah. Okay. Pork sausage like sausage. Got it.
Some good sausage, you know.
Yeah.
Pork chop.
Pork chop. That's a classic.
That's a good one.
You could just
I'll
want
deviate
this.
and go pork belly for like burnt end, pork belly, burnt ends. Those are really good too.
Is pork
That's
belly?
kind of like bacon.
I would say, is that the same as bacon? I guess if you
It's
cook it
not
differently. If you
because
cook it differently.
it's cooked differently and it's sliced differently, so it's 2 different products.
Okay. I agree with a lot of those. Another one I thought of. One of my favorite things to cook is pork tenderloin. I like smoked tenderloin. It's easy and it's very juicy. Did you guys know? And maybe you did, and I learned this a while ago. That you can eat pork medium, and in fact, medium rare. Did you know that?
No.
Oh, it's the best. Do never eat pork well again.
Oh, you're talking like a pork chop, like what Jim was saying, like cook it at different temperatures.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be well done. Like pork tenderloin, even if pork chop. Yeah, I mean obviously certain
Ooh,
ones.
pork
have to be done.
tenderloin. We forgot that one.
I just said that. That was I
Well,
just said.
Yeah, but I shut up. I was looking at dad jokes.
Can I also
That's a
just
good
tell
one.
you, aside from bacon and shredded pork, it's really about as much pork as I rock.
Yeah. We love tenderloin. That's
This
like I
actually
said.
ties into my dad joke. Are you ready? Because
Oh,
I'm just gonna fire off.
You know
and
what?
go.
Those really good
Huh.
tenderloin.
You had, dude. That was probably one of the best dad jokes we've had all season, dude.
My wife tells me I have two major faults. I don't listen and something else.
We know this is a
That was
joke.
perfect.
Thank you.
One
You
thing
don't
I
have
thought
to
of
lie.
too. One thing I thought of too. Pork products. Football. When I said like it doesn't have to be food, that's what came to mind too.
It's a good one for that
Good.
Super Bowl coming up.
Yeah.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Before we go, are there any bets that you guys are making?
That is illegal in the
Uh,
state of Texas.
Yes. Any bets that you would think you could partake
Any
in if it
bets
was
that you
legal?
want to send me money to make for you, Jim, and go.
Tails all in.
Yeah.
Tails all in. All right.
Those aren't even like, that's not even a good, like, because they don't give them good odds because it's 50-50. Like, I'm all about what can I parlay to make this plus 3,000?
You know what are fun that I've
do.
realized? They're just the boost bets where they'll just give you like plus 150 for who scores the first touchdown.
Yeah.
And you're
yeah.
like, oh, that's fun. And they'll just give it to you for either team. So if you would actually put $50 max bet on both teams, you'd still make money.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Free money to all of our listeners.
Anyway, who do you think is going to win the game? Let's just say that.
I really actually feel like the Eagles might be underrated. Is that possible to be this far into the playoffs and be underrated?
I mean, they are the favorite.
Yeah, I don't feel like they're the favorite though. Like I don't know.
I mean, it's only a
I
point and a
don't know.
half, but it hasn't moved at all.
So I would say I hate the Eagles, but I feel like I dislike Patrick Mahomes' wife.
Okay.
And
I hope you were going to say Patrick Mahomes.
more. So
Okay,
I am
okay.
going with the
It's
birds.
Patrick Mahomes' brother is worse than the wife, I think.
No, they are the same.
They are 1A and 1B. Like they are, yeah, equally terrible. I can't believe he hasn't divorced her and cut ties with his brother, honestly. Like just
Well, it sounds like there's three people here that will think the Eagles are going to win. So as much as
yeah, I actually hope the Eagles win.
Yeah.
We have a
Can't
dedicated
say we're
listener
probably
I got an
20
email
bucks.
from. I think his name is George S.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
All right. Well, that's all we got. As always, thanks, George. Thanks
George.
Scott B for writing in.
Scott B.
Teresa for listening.
Mama H.
Yep.
Mama
Julie.
H for listening. Thank
Yep.
you.
If you want to be shouted out, email the show at 3differentdads@gmail.com. 3 spelled out, THREE. differentdads@gmail.com. Check out Instagram, 3differentdads. That's the number 3 different dads. Same thing with the Twitter. Hit us up anywhere. Facebook page. Check us out. Subscribe to YouTube. Subscribe to anywhere you listen, because the more times you subscribe, the more times you comment, rate, all that stuff, then more people see it, and we'll shout you out on the podcast. So
Smash that subscribe button.
and hopefully we get to a point where there's so many people writing in, we have to choose. But now's the time. Now do it when there's not a lot of people writing in. You're guaranteed to get however you comment with us, or however you comment on the podcast. Be YouTube, smash the subscribe button. Thanks, Jim. YouTube, Facebook,
Like and
Twitter,
subscribe button.
yeah, any of that stuff. We're gonna shout
All that
you out.
interaction.
Yes. So thanks to all our listeners. Thanks to you guys. Great conversation. As always, I appreciate you both. And
Go Mavs.
go fast. This has been 3 Different Dads.
If there's nothing